we kind of set that standard of the identity early on in the year of, okay, this is a physical team. They play tough. They're going to play defense, and they're going to get back to the basics of basketball. But this brawl that happened the other day, I kind of feel like it's going to set the league on notice of, okay, the Pistons not just tough, like, oh, they're talking tough and all of that. Like, they're actually a tough team, and this is a team that's going to be in your face. They're going to play good. They got the skill to back it up, and they're going to give you a run for your money with or without their star guys. So I think the league is about to officially be on notice with the Detroit Pistons after this big brawl that we just seen against Minnesota.
I definitely agree. And one thing I love, you remember during the brawl when Isaiah Steward got thrown out, obviously ejected, he did the whole Detroit thing, like
yes,
the bad boys
sir.
are back.
Yes,
and
sir.
I love it. Regardless of what people might say about him or our team, he's like our Draymond Green. He's the enforcer. Facts. And the thing I love,
Facts.
that bad boy mentality is back. So obviously we saw the thing with Naz Reid. I think he overreacted. People might say I'm biased because I'm a Pistons fan, but Ron Howell defended himself. Then Dante DiVincenzo, he stood on business. But the thing is, bro, we were able to, basically show people that, hey, this energy is back, and the Pistons aren't the same team you can move around. You made a great
Facts.
point that 14 wins last year. This is a completely different team led
Facts.
by me, a superstar, and Cade, 42 wins. And I believe, this team is going to end up making a run. And the Pistons, they're no joke. And the thing I love about Isaiah Steward, he's willing to do this multiple times, stand up for his guys. And the best thing about yesterday, after the game, Malik Beasley was actually like, when you think about when injections happen, what kind of goes through your mind? He said, no matter the scenario, we're brothers. We're going to have each other's back, regardless of the situation. I love that team bond.
You gotta love that, bro. And like you said, Ron or Stewart is kind of like our Draymond Green. He gives Ron Artest, he gives Matt Barnes, he gives Dennis Rodman, he gives it all in one, bro. And I respect that. He does not give a damn, bro. He will get ejected. This man will get ejected, come back and get ejected the same game he just returned. And I love it because you need that. Literally every championship team on any team has had that one type of enforcer and had that one guy that is just going to push it over the limit, going to be extremely physical, going to just take the edge a step further than what it should be and help his team build some momentum. So I love it from Isaiah Stewart. And now it's not just, oh, this team is physical or this team, they're going to try and bully you around. We're tough too. But the team actually got the skill. We actually got the talent on the team to help us out. So that's one of the things there. And it makes me think, like, out of all the players that we have on there, some of the most important. And it's a good sign to me when I think of who's the most important and I can't identify just one layer to it. That's something that's brilliant to me.
No, I definitely agree with that because this team reminds me just like of an all-around team, kind of like the early Golden State Warriors, not the Kevin Durant Warriors. I'm talking about the 15 Warriors that won their first chip. I look at Cade kind of like as our Steph, clearly the best player. He's the leader. Every game is going to go through him. Malik Beasley leads the league in threes. It's like the Klay Thompson spot-up shooting. You know what I'm saying? I love Malik Beasley. He'd be hitting parlays and all the good stuff. Then Isaiah Stewart's like the Draymond, and I love the entire team because everybody can step up when the opportunity is needed. For instance, Cade's been out with a calf injury. Malik Beasley's had multiple 20-point games. He even had 4 threes in the first quarter yesterday. Ron Holland became the first teenager in NBA history, I believe about a week ago, to have 25, 5, and 5 and no turnovers. I believe he's going to be a superstar. And one guy I got to say who's been slept on, he doesn't get much opportunity because of how great Cade is, Marcus Sasser. He's a guy that can legit get 20 points in the game when Cade is out. I'm not saying he can just average 20 off rip, but this team is all around great. And I just got to say, like, with the additions of like Tobias Harris and different guys like Malik Beasley, these guys have grown. And I also want to say I love what Jalen Duren's doing. He's basically guaranteed double-double. So this team,
every night,
I believe, is going to win a playoff series. I'm going to say it off the bat. I think their ceiling could easily be the conference finals.
This is facts. And there's no wrong. It ain't even no bold take about it. I think if you run into the Pistons, you have at least a 50% chance that you will get your ass whooped in the playoffs and get sent home in the first round. Like, I don't think that's a bold take or nothing about it. This team is good. And like you said, they got guys on here who aren't big names, but they're impactful players. And that's something that's huge. A guy you mentioned, he's a very low-key guy on the Pistons, and I think it's for the better that it shows a lot about his character and also his ability on the floor, off the floor, whatever he can do. But Marcus Sasser, man, I really want to shout out Marcus Sasser right now. because this is a dude, obviously we know he has the talent. He had to take some reduced minutes because they brought in Dennis Schroeder. So he was not seeing the floor as much, especially when Ivy went down with the injury. So for Marcus Sasser to still accept that role, not complain, and just continue to ball out whenever he's given the opportunity, that's something that I love. He's still there. He's still being positive in the locker room. He's still being a great team player. And that's just something where I'm like, okay, clearly coming up from above, going back to JB Bickerstaff and Langdon all above, the tone is just right for this team. Like it's a winning dynamic. It's a family dynamic. It's a brotherhood dynamic that's helping because everybody's unselfish. You gotta love it. You just gotta love it, man. Because I didn't know much about Marcus Sasser, truth be told. I didn't know much about him beforehand, and I obviously seen him play more and more and could see the shots and stuff he makes. And it's like, bro, this dude's a great player. But the fact that we got multiple people on the team where their minutes constantly adjust and nobody's complaining, everybody's still super supportive, you got to love it. You got to love it.
And 2 weeks ago, to your point, Isaiah Steward made a comment about Marcus Sasser, how he's always ready to seize a moment. He's a guy that really, he's in one of the worst situations if you think about it. He'll have a game where he scores 20, then maybe get a DNP the next game because, you know, the minutes just flow with how everybody's going. But the thing about this team, not only is it a brotherhood, everybody accepts their role. There's games where we really need Derwin to get 15 to 20 rebounds. Isaiah Stewart might need to get a tech or two, maybe get ejected, get the team going. Abe's going to get his usual 30 and 10, you know, and 8. So everybody's like doing their role, and the complete identity has changed. And it's so crazy to look at a team go 14 wins a year ago, then 42 this year. I don't think we've ever seen a turnaround like this in sports ever. And you got to think some of the wins we have wins over the Celtics, and we just beat a fully healthy Cavs team
with no Cade. With no Cade. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like this is a good team.
And it's just crazy because it really took, in my opinion, and I hope he's doing okay, but Monty Williams, deadass, might be the worst coach in history. It's essentially the same team outside of 3 people, and you have 42 wins with a chance to still win more games this season. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you win 14 games last year? He's still banking that $60 million contract, which is irritating me, but it's just like, dude, how are we this bad when we have so much talent?
Bro, you know what I think about? I think about this actually on probably like every couple of weeks. Realistically, every couple of weeks. I think about the clip of Stephen A. Smith and guys, they were talking about the Pistons. Because, you know, they don't talk about the Pistons ever unless it's something negative or whatever. They barely ever talk about us anyway. But I think about the clip when he was saying, congrats to Monty Williams for getting fired because the Pistons is a bad organization and, you know, he should be jumping for joy that he doesn't have to coach the team anymore. And it's like, whoa, come on, man. That's a bit dramatic. And to me, it tells me, okay, clearly you, one, don't watch the team. You clearly don't watch the team because you see they got plenty of talent, but it's a lot of dysfunction and it's all Monty Williams' fault. Like playing 12 people in one game. Insane. It can't be forgiven. I can't never forgive Monty for that.
One thing, Monty, awful coach. I hope he's doing well, but he was just one of the worst coaches. When you bring up the point about Stephen A. and national media, I'm calling you out. You need to do a better job. Shaq, how are you going to get on TNT and say, hey, Chauncey Billups is doing a great job with the Pistons? He's not our coach. He's the coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Like, they don't even watch the games. And I remember he was on the podcast saying, like, Detroit doesn't move me. They're this and that's. Like, I don't care what nobody says. You can say I'm biased because I'm from here. We are by far the best story in the NBA. We literally had the longest losing streak in the history of the league, and now we're a legit playoff team, not play-in team, playoff team. Nobody saw this coming. So for national media to disrespect and say, you know, not even know our coach and just get on air and literally say, I don't watch them when it's your game, when it's literally your job to watch the games.
It's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing. And, you know, I think about this also a lot. Too, I be thinking about sports. So my mind just be rambling, bro. It'd be like Tuesday night, 12 p.m. I'm already sleeping. I wake up. I'm like, damn, you know what? I ain't never thought of that. So, my mind really do just be rambling sometimes. But one of the things is like, I struggle to wrap my head around the concept of you go on TV to talk about sports, but you don't watch the damn games. That's lazy analysis to me. And it's disrespectful to almost any fan who enjoys the game of basketball and looks at you to give them some sort of analysis on what is happening in the game and what is happening throughout the stretch of the season, whatever the case is borderline disrespectful. And I noticed the NBA is one of the only leagues that do this. You look at NFL, they talk about every team in the NFL. Cleveland Browns can be terrible. Giants can be terrible. It does not matter. They will still give them some airtime if they had a good game or something that was exciting during the week. MLB, same thing. Guys can tear it up. You can have Orioles kicking butt. You can have the Royals kicking butt. MLB Network will still give them time. But with the NBA, Cavs won 16 straight games. We ain't hear not a single thing. We heard about the Lakers. We heard about the Celtics. Pistons won 12 straight games. Heard nothing. Rockets was on a big win streak as well. Heard nothing. It's like, what are we, if we're supposed to be coming to you for the source and getting information about the sport that we love, but you don't even watch the games and you barely even know what's going on, what the hell are we doing?
Facts. And it's also, I'll even take you a step further. It's not only disrespectful to the fans, it's also disrespectful to young journalists like ourselves who would kill for a position like that, because we get on platforms like this podcast and get to discuss our opinions. But if we're in a position like them, say on TNT, the ESPNs of the world, we already watch the games because we love doing what we do. That's why we're doing, this podcast right now. So if we were in a position to get paid and watch the games, you got to trust and believe I'm watching every single game. I'm telling you,
miss a damn
from tip off. So like, it's like you should know. And two, these are the best stories. I think what it is from NBA media, the national media, a lot of these guys are holding on to the long nostalgia of the LeBron James of the world, the Dirk Nowitzki's, Kobe's, and I love all these guys. They've been amazing during their careers, but now it's time for the Cades, the Shai Gilgeouses, the Jason Tatums, who's been to 6 conference finals and coming off a reigning champion. People don't even talk about him. There's so many stories, like you said with the Cavs. All these new teams that were bad for so long are finally good. Why are we talking about that?
This is facts, bro. You got oh my gosh, bro. You preaching facts over here. Like, it's so many storylines you can go to and new storylines you can explore and build up like you did with the previous stars of the league, but yet we just avoid it. And I don't know why, man. I don't know why. It's weird. All right. Anyway, look, so we could, I fear that we could go on this topic forever.
All right.
And we could probably continue on talking about the Pistons and stuff too. They ended up losing yesterday, unfortunately. We never got to that as much as we were talking about them. But I still think this scenario of the fight is going to just put the league on notice a little bit. And if that don't do it, it's going to be when they whoop somebody behind in the first round. That's what's really going to trigger that response.
And one thing to add on that point, we're playing playoff teams. The Timberwolves are going to be in the Western Conference playoffs. We're playing teams that are in the playoffs without Cade, and we're making the games. Really, if it wasn't for the ejections, when the ejections happened, we were up by 9 points. So before that happened, we'd probably go on to win that game. So I'm telling you, when Cade gets back, it's scary hours.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be scary. And I feel like right now he's just taking his time because he knows he has the luxury of being able to do that. Whereas in the past, it's like, okay, you have to play Cade. Like, if you don't play, we're losing by 30 because of coaching and just the rotations and all of that. But